I grew up in a Baltimore suburb, so we get a ton of Ravens-Steelers games, and I grew up on this historic rivalry budding into what it is today. I've seen Ben Roethlisberger go up against Ray Lewis, and then you see Ed Reed, T-Sizzle with Troy Polamalu, Hines Ward. The list goes on and on. There's some iconic players in this rivalry, and now we're getting a next generation of that with like TJ Watt, Lamar Jackson, who's been a little bit absent from this rivalry due to injury, but it's good to see him back on the field. And then you get Kenny Pickett and George Pickens as well. And this game was typical AFC North rivalry between these two teams. Physical, tough-nosed defenses, not a lot of offense there. The final score was 17-10, and that is a very indicative of it being a defensive slugfest. The Steelers scored 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter in some of the most unconventional ways possible. It was 10-3. First thing that happened was you get a safety that nearly was a touchdown, but it went out before the special teams member could recover it in the end zone for the touchdown, so they still got 2 points. Next drive, you cash that in for 3 points off the free kick, and you're down 10-8. Meanwhile, the Ravens offense is starting to sputter. Despite them getting off to a 10-0 start in the first half, they stagnated for the rest of the game. They were greedy in unnecessary times and just a lot of self-inflicted mistakes that will break down. But in that fourth quarter stretch, you had an opportunity to really put this game out of reach after forcing a muff punt and recovering it deep inside Pittsburgh territory. At that point, it is 10-8. Bare minimum what you could do is get a field goal, and it's up to 5 with Kenny Pickett and the offense really struggling to even get into field goal range. So that's a cushion for your defense. But Lamar forces a throw on 3rd and goal that I think he wants to have back. That instead of going to OBJ back shoulder, he kind of goes in no man's land, and it gets the DB a chance to make a play on the ball. Great play by Joey Porter Jr., actually the son of Joey Porter Sr., who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers as a linebacker. Great play, gives the Steelers some life, and this was a chance for that George Pickens, Kenny Pickett connection to finally hit home, get a touchdown to go up 14-10 in the fourth quarter. Now, Lamar still has a chance to get the job done, but doesn't feel that pressure, gets stripped. TJ Watt recovers it. They had 3 more insurance points, and yet again ran out of time for the Baltimore Ravens, and they dropped this game, dropped to 3-2 on the year. And the Steelers are now atop the AFC North after starting off 0-1 in a very embarrassing opening day loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Looked pretty rough against the Houston Texans last week, but find ways to win, especially in the division. They got 2 divisional wins against, I think, teams that are better than them on paper, at least, with the Cleveland Browns, and then later against the Baltimore Ravens, who I think are still favorites even after this loss in week 5.